Welcome to the deep dive. We're diving into some really cool energy sources today, ones you might not expect.
Yeah, it's going beyond solar and wind.
Right. Like we all know those. This is about stuff like, well, you wouldn't believe it, like energy from dancing and even like from jellyfish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Really pushing the boundaries of where we can find energy
Mhm.
and how we can use it sustainably.
Yeah, because we definitely need more diverse energy sources, right?
Absolutely. Especially as traditional resources start to, dwindle.
Right. Okay, so let's start with something everyone can relate to. Movement. Like I'm moving my hands right now, that's energy.
It is, and there's some really clever ways we can capture that. Like, have you heard of the socket?
The what?
The socket. It's a soccer ball. But get this, it harvests energy while you play.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
A soccer ball that makes energy. How?
So inside, there's a mechanism that basically captures the kinetic energy from kicking it around.
That's wild. So you can play soccer and like charge your phone or something?
Pretty much. 15 minutes of play can give you 3 hours of light from an LED.
Wow, that's actually really useful, especially in places that don't have reliable electricity.
Yeah, it's being used in communities all over the world. And it's not just soccer balls. They're making floors that generate power, too.
Floors, like when you walk on them.
Yep, kinetic floors. They use the pressure from footsteps to generate electricity.
So like imagine if like in our office building, every step we took was powering the lights.
I know, right? Some companies are already using this tech. It's pretty cool to see it in action.
Okay, so we've got energy from playing and walking. But what about just existing? Like our bodies are always giving off heat, right? Can we use that?
It sounds crazy, but
Yeah.
there's a train station in Switzerland. They actually capture body heat from passengers to warm water for the building.
Seriously, that's brilliant. Imagine like concert venues packed with people, all that heat being put to use.
It's a great example of how we can find energy in unexpected places. And speaking of unexpected, have you ever thought about jellyfish as an energy source?
Jellyfish. I don't think so. I mean, they just kind of float around.
Right, but they glow, and that's the key. They have this protein, GFP, that makes them bioluminescent, and scientists have figured out how to use it to generate electricity.
No way. So we're talking about using the same thing that makes jellyfish glow to like power our houses.
It's still being developed, but the potential is there. And it's renewable, which is a huge plus.
Okay, that's awesome. But what about like nature's more intense stuff? Can we get energy from that?
Well, there are these lakes called explosive lakes, and they have all these gases trapped underneath.
Explosive lakes. That sounds kind of scary.
They can be if the gas is released uncontrolled. But if you harness it carefully, you can use it to generate electricity.
Wow, so we're turning a potential disaster into power.
Exactly. It's a great example of, turning a negative into a positive.
Okay, this is blowing my mind. What else? What else is out there?
How about trees?
Trees, like just standing there.
Well, they may look still, but trees are always moving slightly in the wind, vibrating.
Yeah.
And we can capture that energy using piezoelectric materials.
Hold on, I'm trying to remember. Piezoelectric is that stuff that makes electricity when you, like, press on it.
Exactly. So you could think of it as turning trees into mini power generators.
Wow. So we've got soccer balls, floors, body heat, jellyfish, lakes and trees. What else?
We can't forget about waste.
Oh, right. Trash. I mean, we've got tons of it, literally.
And there are ways to get energy from it. Incinerating garbage to produce electricity is pretty common.
Yeah, I've heard of that. But isn't burning trash, like, bad for the environment?
There are definitely concerns with emissions. That's why it's important to find cleaner methods. Like, have you heard about the race car that runs on chocolate waste?
Wait, what? Chocolate waste?
Yeah, they made a biofuel out of it. It's a fun example of how we can get creative with what we normally throw away.
A chocolate-powered race car. That's incredible. I would never have thought of that.
Right. It shows that even what we consider waste can have value.
This is amazing. So what's next? What other crazy innovations are out there?
Oh, there are some really wild ones. Like imagine a temporary tattoo that powers your devices using your sweat.
Wait, a sweat-powered tattoo? Seriously?
Seriously. It's still in early stages, but the potential is huge, especially for things like wearable sensors and even military applications.
Okay, now that's some futuristic stuff right there. What else is on the cutting edge?
Well, 3D printing is making portable wind turbines possible. Like imagine being able to just set up a wind turbine anywhere you need it.
That's amazing, especially for remote areas or disaster relief.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about making clean energy more accessible. And then there's this invention called the gravity light.
Gravity light, what's that?
It's a lamp powered by, you guessed it, gravity. You basically have a weight that slowly falls, and that powers a generator.
So simple, yet so brilliant.
And it's perfect for places without electricity.
All these innovations are so inspiring. I love how they're solving problems and helping people at the same time. But before we move on, I have to ask about the motorcycle.
And the motorcycle.
Yeah, the one that runs on bacon grease. Yeah.
Ah, yes, the pastrami-powered motorcycle. It's real.
Yeah.
A company made biofuel from bacon grease, and, well, they made a motorcycle that runs on it.
A bacon-fueled motorcycle. It's like something out of a dream.
It's a great example of how we can find fuel in unexpected places.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun, too.
I love that. It just shows you we need to think outside the box when it comes to energy.
Absolutely. And there's so much more to explore.
I know. It's incredible to see the sheer variety and creativity in the world of alternative energy.
It's definitely an exciting time to be thinking about these issues.
It really is. So what's next? What other unlikely sources might we be tapping into in the future? We'll continue this deep dive into the world of surprising energy sources right after this.
It really is exciting. And it makes you think, like, what else is out there?
Right. Like, we've just scratched the surface here. But it feels like we're on the verge of, I don't know, like a whole new era of energy.
I think you're right. This is about more than just finding new energy sources. It's a whole new way of thinking about energy.
Exactly. And it's not just about the tech either. It's about the impact. Like some of these things, the gravity light, the socket, those aren't just cool gadgets.
They're making a real difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
Providing light, energy, in places that really need it.
Yeah, it's like we're not just talking about powering our houses anymore. We're talking about empowering communities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Giving people access to resources they might not have had before.
So how do we, I don't know, how do we make this happen on a larger scale? How do we go from these awesome examples to like making unconventional energy the norm?
Well, it's going to take a lot of things. For one, we need more research. A lot of these technologies are still, in the early stages.
Right. And it's not just about the science, it's about the money too. Like, someone has to invest in this stuff.
Definitely. We need both public and private investment to really make this happen. Yeah. Governments need to create the right policies. Companies need to see the potential.
And then there's the whole infrastructure thing. Like, how do we integrate all these different energy sources into our, I don't even know what to call it, like our energy grid?
It's a huge challenge, but it's not impossible. We need to be smart about how we build our energy infrastructure going forward.
It's like we're not just swapping out a light bulb here. We're talking about changing the entire system.
Exactly. It's a big task, but the payoff could be huge.
And I think a big part of it is just getting people on board. Like, not everyone's going to get excited about jellyfish power, right?
True. Education is a huge part of this. We need to explain these technologies, show people why they matter.
Yeah, like what's the benefit? How does this impact their lives? It's about making it real for people.
And it's not just about adults either. We need to be teaching kids about this stuff. Inspiring the next generation of, energy innovators.
Right. Like imagine growing up thinking about all the amazing ways we can create energy. That's powerful.
It is. And it's not just about big solutions either. We can all do our part, even in small ways.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like just being more aware of our energy use.
Yeah.
Making conscious choices.
Exactly. Unplugging things when we're not using them, choosing energy-efficient appliances. All that stuff adds up.
And as consumers, we have power too. Like, we can choose to support companies that are investing in sustainable energy.
Right. Every decision we make has an impact.
So it's like individual action, collective responsibility, and a whole new way of thinking about energy. That's what it's all about.
I think you nailed it. It's about moving away from waste, from dependence on limited resources. It's about creating a future where energy is abundant and sustainable for everyone.
It's a big goal, but it feels, I don't know, it feels possible.
It is possible. We have the technology, the ingenuity. Now we just need the will to make it happen.
Speaking of ingenuity, before we move on, I got to mention this. Have you heard about the company that's making energy from, well, this is going to sound weird, from human waste?
You mean the one that's converting sewage into biogas?
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, it might not be glamorous, but talk about turning a problem into a solution.
It's actually brilliant. It solves two issues at once: waste management and energy production.
All right, I think we've given everyone a lot to digest, no pun intended. But before we go, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about. As you go about your day, look around and ask yourself, what seemingly ordinary thing could be the next big energy source?
That's a great challenge. It could be anything, really. The heat from your computer, the movement of traffic, even the sound of the city.
It just takes a little imagination, a little curiosity, and a willingness to see the world in a new way. And hey, who knows? Maybe you'll be the one to discover the next big thing in energy. This has been The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us as we explored the world of surprising energy sources. We'll see you next time.
I'm still blown away by all this, like jellyfish and chocolate waste and even, well, sewage. Who knew?
It shows you that we can find energy in the most unexpected places, right?
It totally does. This whole deep dive has made me, look at everything differently.
I know what you mean. It's like you start seeing energy everywhere.
Yeah, every little thing has potential. But it's not just about, finding these crazy new sources, right? It's about what we do with them.
Absolutely. It's about using them responsibly, sustainably. It's about making sure everyone benefits.
It's about, changing our whole relationship with energy.
Exactly. Moving away from waste, from relying on things that will eventually run out.
Creating a future where energy is, I don't know, a force for good.
That's a great way to put it. A force for good. This whole conversation has been so inspiring. It makes me feel like we can actually solve these big problems.
We can. It's going to take work, collaboration, and, yeah, a lot of imagination.
Imagination, that's the key. We need to keep thinking outside the box, keep pushing the boundaries.
And who knows? Maybe the next big energy breakthrough will come from someone listening right now.
Maybe it'll be you. So yeah, that's it for this deep dive into the world of surprising energy sources. Hopefully you've learned something new, maybe even feel a little inspired.
And maybe even a little bit more energized.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thanks for joining us. And until next time, keep exploring.